Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to RobMotive. I'm going to do something a little crazy today. You know, I'm taking a trip in a few months, and I bought a Toyota Tundra, not just specifically for that, but mainly for that, I guess. But a part of me has been thinking, maybe I should take the Toyota Tacoma. But the big issue is, can you sleep inside the Toyota Tacoma? Because that's what I want to do. I could rent a hotel room or whatever, but I thought this would be a good opportunity to try it out. Now, unlike some of the other vehicles that I have, or we have, the Jeep Wrangler, obviously, it's too small. It's a two-door. There's no way you're going to sleep comfortably inside of this, even if you sleep in the seat. Now, I love the comfort of the Prius, and I think on a long-distance trip, it would be pretty darn comfortable to drive. And maybe I could even put the seats down and put a mattress in here and even sleep in the back of it if I wanted to. But that's not really why I bought the Prius, so that's not really an option either. And of course, as I mentioned, we have the Tundra sitting out here, and it's cavernous inside. I'm thinking of putting a mattress in the back and sleeping in the back seat area. But what about the Tacoma? You know, one could argue, I guess, that maybe you could just lay in the seat and just sit up in here and sleep. But, you know, on a 20-some-odd hour one-way trip, that probably wouldn't be very comfortable, right? So what about in the back seat area? We're going to find out. Let's say that for some crazy reason, I did decide to go ahead and take the Tacoma. Let's rotate the camera maybe a little bit. I'm in the back seat area right now, obviously. And if I was going to sleep in here... Now, first of all, let me preface this by saying I am 5'9.5". So for proportion size, I guess, there you go. So can someone my height actually lay comfortably in the back seat of the Tacoma? Let's just say with the seats that they are, the way that they are now, without doing anything. So, if I was to lay down in here, I mean, it would be kind of like this. I mean, I have my head resting on the armrest, and I suppose, you know, with a pillow or something there, with my legs bent, I guess I could probably do that. Let's try turning around the other way, because if you're like me, you just don't stay one way when you're sleeping, right? You gotta kind of roll around all over the place. So let's go this way. I mean, you can already see, right? It's kind of, I mean, I could do it, you know. I mean, I'm laying on the seat. I don't know if I'd wake up in the morning laying in the footwell, although I don't really fit even down in there, so probably not really very comfortable. So let me sit back up here. What options does that really leave me if I were, let's say, to take the Toyota Tacoma? Well, after being out of that back seat and climbing out of that back seat, I can tell you that it's not really an option for me. You know, I probably could swing just reclining the driver's seat or passenger seat or whatever and maybe sleep in one night. I mean, it's just one night, right? I hope. And sleeping there. But I think if I slept in the back seat, I'd probably have to recover 3 or 4 days from stiffness before I could get back in the driver's seat and continue my trip. So not really an option for me. So what does that leave? Well, I mentioned the hotel room. I mean, I could do that. Not something I want to do. And honestly, between here and where I'm going, there aren't a lot of really decent hotels anyway, because there aren't a lot of big cities in between. Well, I guess there are, but not conveniently located for the number of hours I want to drive each day, right? So that's not really something I'm gonna do either. So you have, I think, really two options. Well, there's three for me. One is to just go ahead and take the Tundra. two is to get something like a rooftop tent. I mean, I have a lot of time, you know, between now and the few months from now that I'm actually going to make this trip. So I could put another Prinsu roof rack or some kind of roof rack on top of the truck and put some sort of a pop-up. It would be a cheapo tent. I mean, this isn't something I'm going to be doing like every weekend. Would probably be, well, 2 trips a year. In other words, there and back kind of thing. So 2 overnights a year. I wouldn't go out and spend a ton of money for a luxury rooftop tent for something like that. I mean, it would be pretty much of a waste anyway, to be honest. But it's something I want to try. The other thing would be to put some kind of a cap on the bed and then put some sort of a mattress or something back in there. Now, I would want something that I could lock from the inside because I'd be staying overnight at probably a rest area or a truck stop or who knows, something like that. That's most likely where I would end up. So I'd have to have it lockable from the inside just to be secure while I'm sleeping. As far as what I'm sleeping on, you know, there are tons of bed options out there if you're going to put something in the bed. I mean, really, I could even just buy a... Man, there's a lot of traffic today. I could even just buy a cheapo mattress, like a twin or something like that, and put in the back. Or maybe even some smaller kids type mattress or something like that I could throw back there. There are, of course, air mattresses. I'm not a big fan of air mattresses. Got to get on the gas a little here. Can't believe all this traffic. Jeez. You can hear that exhaust wind up a little bit. It doesn't really whine, but it gets quite loud when you get on the throttle. But anyway, I can throw a mattress back there. Same thing, have a cap on the truck. Throw a mattress back there. Of course, if I put a cap on the truck, I'd have to lose the roll bar or maybe rotate them in and out, which is something I could do. I mean, only doing this twice a year, there and back, yeah, it wouldn't be that big of a deal to maybe store the cap on my lift at home or something like that, and vice versa for the roll bar. So that wouldn't be a huge inconvenience as far as, you know, having stuff sitting around, except it would be sitting around, and then I'd have to hoist it on and off of there. And I do have lights and stuff on the roll bar, but fortunately this time for me, I was a little bit smarter. I put like disconnects on all of the lights, so I could just take 2 screws off and I could lift the whole light bar off, or leave it connected and just lift the whole sport bar and everything off. Although I have to say, that light bar I have on there is quite heavy, and the sport bar is not light either, so I'd probably be, I don't know, 100 and some plus odd pounds hoisting around, which I could get help. It's not that big a deal. I'm just thinking outside a little bit. So those are my options. Stay in a hotel, take the Tundra, buy a roof rack tent and take the Tacoma, or buy a cap, put it on the bed, and take the Tacoma. I'm curious what you guys think, what you might like to see, or maybe what you do. If you use your truck for traveling, even if you're, you know, using it for overlanding, I should say, and stuff like that, and you sleep in it, my guess is most of you folks out there are probably using tents. But if there is another option, I'd be curious to know what you're doing for something I might maybe be interested in trying myself. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.